But let's go ahead and let's welcome Duce onto the show. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, and you?
Doing good, man. We're really excited to have you and to get to talk to you. I know we were talking a little bit beforehand, and you've done a couple interviews already. Obviously they've asked, what was your big decision in deciding to come to LSU? I want to first start off, Duce, by asking you. So we'll kind of stray away from that because I know you've already answered a lot of those questions. I'm sure a lot of people have asked you that a lot here recently. Look, I know in high school you played at a lot of different positions. You talked about playing corner. You talked about playing nickel. You talked about playing safety. Obviously, the Tigers, that they really needed some help in the DB room. Obviously, losing Jarek, Mekhi Garner, Colby Richardson, guys like that were transfers last year. They come in, make a big impact. I mean, you think about the game that Jarek had against Alabama. Mekhi was also just phenomenal this year. Those guys are transitioning out, and LSU needed DBs. You talked about on the interview with Jordy playing all those different positions. What's a position group, or is there a certain position group you're looking at, you're kind of eyeballing heading into LSU?
Definitely cornerback, but definitely getting play time at the nickel spot. Seeing a lot of great nickels from before, like Honey Badger, Jay Ward, and stuff like that. Just seeing the impact that nickel spot has for LSU. I'd definitely like to play a little bit of that to help the team out.
For sure. Is there a certain you mentioned nickel, you mentioned Honey Badger, maybe not just LSU, but maybe a player right now that you really look up to in the NFL right now that you model your game after, that you would say?
I would probably say Patrick Peterson, just the versatility he had growing up. I always wanted to be that lockdown corner, but then also go back deep and catch a punt return and return one to the house. So that's kind of always who I looked up to, and that was always my favorite player. So it's kind of ironic for him to go to LSU. So
I mean, like, I know me and Ray can kind of testify. Like, Patrick Peterson is a major reason why like we became big time LSU fans. I mean, getting to watch him, in 2008, 2009, 2010, just ball out, like, it was awesome. Reagan, you got any questions for Duce?
Yeah, Duce. I mean, obviously, your freshman year, I mean, you really burst on the scene there at Syracuse. I mean, freshman All-American honors. What do you think contributed for your ability to transition from high school to a Power 5 school so well to be able to do that? And speak a little bit too, if you don't mind, like what's that like for you as a player transitioning from high school to the Power 5? And I mean, you had so much success, so I'm just curious what was that like for you?
it was great. I had a great player that looked after me and like took me under his wing. I had Garrett Williams. He was already like a pro ready guy when I came in. So just being under him and him teaching me ways and stuff like that, just little things, and then just me implicating like my playmaking ability, my little instincts that I have, and just being able to make plays. So it was great freshman year. I had a great freshman year making plays, just doing crazy things. So freshman year was definitely a great year for me.
You mentioned Reagan mentioned your accolades, things that you've gotten in your freshman year. Heading into this year, what are some goals that you are setting for yourself personally?
Personally, I'm trying to win it all this year. Jim Thorpe Award, All American, anything that you can get as a DB, that's what I'm trying to get this year. So, and definitely winning a national championship. That's the reason I came to LSU, to win a national championship. So that's definitely on my mind.
Reagan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, set your goals high, right? I mean, why not? Uh, Deuce, obviously, I mean, you're going to have a chance here early on at LSU to compete for a starting position. But, I think it's no secret to you that, they brought guys in like Denver Harris and J.K. Johnson. I mean, you and him kind of committed around the same time. And of course, there's some freshmen coming in with Javen Taviano, and then Zy Alexander out of the portal as well. And then, of course, you got guys on the roster already, LaTerrence Welch. So, for a player coming into now what is at once a room that needed help desperately is now a quite full room. Do you enjoy that kind of competition, like that, to look ahead and see like you're going to have some good competition to really earn your spot? And what does that mean for you as a player to come in and compete for like that?
I feel like it's going to be the same thing as my freshman year. I had to come in hungry, be a little more focused every day in practice because my spot wasn't given to me. I had to go earn it. So coming to LSU, I'm going to have to focus more, lock in every day in practice, and go earn my spot, and just like the other guys. So it's going to be definitely competitive, but I'm a competitive guy. I always want to compete. I always want to just go earn my spot and make my name for myself. So that's what I'm going to do here in Louisiana.
Reagan mentioned all those guys. Have you gotten a chance to reach out to anybody, whether it's a current player on the roster or another transfer portal guy that will be coming into LSU? Have you gotten the chance to reach out and talk with anybody and just get to kind of create a connection with any of those guys?
Yeah, I got the chance to spend time with Major Burns and Greg Brooks, and JK was on the visit with me, so I definitely got the chance to spend time with those guys. So definitely can't wait to build a brotherhood with them and make the DBU back great again.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like,
absolutely.
For me and Reagan, like, we love guys like Greg Brooks and Major Burns. I think back to the Bama game, and like a really underrated play was when McClellan broke free and Major Burns just tracked them down and honestly saved the touchdown. And ultimately they ended up kicking a field goal. I mean, that's a 4-point swing there in a game that ended in 1 point. So I know there's a lot of guys in there that I'm excited to interact with and to compete with and play alongside with. That's going to be really, really fun. Look, Duce, I know we've talked football a lot, and I know you've done that a lot as well. But look, we'll leave the comments open. If anybody wants to comment, send a question in, please do so, and we'll get to it. But I want to kind of stray away a little bit from football now. Duce, what's a hobby outside of football that you just really love and enjoy? Like for me, it's disc golf, and people look at me and they're like, "Why the heck do you play disc golf?" I don't know. It's fun. I get to be outside. It's free, and I'm kind of good at it. So, like, is there something that's outside of football that you just really enjoy?
Playing video games, and when I was at Syracuse, I used to make music with some of my teammates.
You make music?
Yeah, make music, yeah.
So is it out there? Is it out in Spotify, Apple Music world?
No, I ain't putting no music out yet, but when I'm more settled in, I was already thinking about putting some music out, but when I'm more settled in and getting back into football and earning my stripes for LSU, so after that, then I'll try to put some music out.
All right, you said you play video games. Any particular video games you love to play?
Of course, 2K and Madden is the main two games I play, but I'm trying to get back into Call of Duty because all my friends play Call of Duty, so I'm trying to get back to Call of Duty and GTA.
Hey, look, man, all I'm saying is don't sleep on Rocket League. Look, I'm telling you, don't sleep on some Rocket League, man. I love me some Rocket League. Reagan's more the Call of Duty guy. Like I'm not really a shooter person, type game person, but like I do love some sports games, so I feel you on that. The Golden Boot is joining us. They said, Duce, how did you get the nickname with no E? So I'm guessing they're wondering why it's just D-U-C-E and not D-U-E-C-E.
So
however you spell it.
Yeah, D-U-C-E. So my dad wanted me to be different. So he didn't want it to have the E in it. So he also is an Eagle fan. So he grew up watching Duce Staley and stuff like that. So my name kind of came from that a little bit.
I kind of feel that because Zach, my name's Zach, and I have obviously it's like extremely common name, and my full name is Zachary. It's spelled Z-A-C-H, but for some reason my parents they didn't want to leave the H or put a K. Like they just wanted Z-A-C. So like, I
Right.
kind of understand that.
So,
In that aspect.
to kind of bounce off that name question, I saw your tweet the other day about being called Sub-Zero. So what's that playing? You must be playing Mortal Kombat too. What's with the Sub-Zero?
Oh yeah, definitely grew up on Mortal Kombat, and just me having the zero last year and just wanting to have the mentality of having like a cold island, making it cold for receivers and stuff like that. So definitely just being a cold player. So yeah, I definitely want to carry that to Louisiana. And just even though I'm not gonna have zero, I still want to be that cold player out there making it cold for receivers on the island.
I don't know, man. I mean, you don't feel like going to Oklahoma drill against Mason Smith, for the number or something like that? I mean,
Man, I know everybody wish they could see that, but nah, I I'll go back to the two is what I always wanted anyway. So I'm cool with two.
There you
all
go.
right. Well, hey, you mentioned getting into Louisiana and bringing it into Louisiana. What is something that you were just really excited about moving? And obviously, you'll be at LSU, but moving to Louisiana, being around the Louisiana culture. What is something you're really looking forward to?
Eating gumbo. I never had gumbo before, so
Oh
so
man,
gumbo was like, yeah, it was definitely the first thing on my list. They had gave me some gumbo when I got there, so that was great. Just being in Louisiana, being in that weather, because I was in snowstorms on every winter, so being at Syracuse, so definitely just being in the weather, getting ready for that.
Yeah, I must say you're making a pretty big weather change here. Going from
y'all
Syracuse
were lucky
to
though.
humid Louisiana.
Y'all were lucky at Syracuse though. You got that dome up there. You didn't have to play
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, yeah. But just we had to practice in in the snow sometimes. Just
There you
if we
go.
had an away game, we had to play Boston College, so we had to
Yeah.
prepare in the snow
Brutal.
sometimes.
Brutal.
Yeah,
I got to ask about the stadium. Like every time I watch a Syracuse game, I'm like, this stadium just looks different. Like, I don't know if it's the lighting or what it is. Like, it looks so much different than like just a normal like dome. I don't know what it is.
yeah. The atmosphere was definitely different. Just I don't know what it was. Maybe the people like how the dome is created and how it's just so compact. It was loud just being there, so it was definitely a great atmosphere there.
That's awesome. Reagan, you got any more questions?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no knock on Syracuse by any means, Deuce, but I think the atmosphere in Death Valley is going to be, quite a surprise for you, and I know you're looking forward to that. Has anybody told you about what that's like to play in Death Valley? And because I can tell you right now, we went to Death Valley at 11 o'clock kickoff for Florida, and it was loud the entire game. So there's no telling what it's like at night against Bama. Like, are you looking forward to that? And have you heard anything from that, like from the players you've hung out with?
Definitely heard about the tailgates and definitely the fans being wild. Just before the game even start, and just seeing a picture of when the fans rushed the field, and you couldn't even see the green grass of the field, just the picture. So I just can't imagine how it's gonna be when I get there. Hopefully, I can get the crowd to scream, have chant out "Duce" back again. That
Yeah,
was
we
one
did.
of my favorite things at Syracuse. So hopefully, I can get it going at LSU.
Hey, look, if they're not doing it, in the stadium, look, I'll be doing it here at home in front of the big screen. I'll do it, and then I'll hit you up later and be like, hey, I was chanting for you. I was chanting.
Look, hey, we got some connections with these students. You may have heard of them. They're the Balcony Bengals, and they sit in the student section every game. So we will let them know that you want that to happen. So
Yeah, we got
let
you.
the student section know, and then when the student section does something, the rest of the stadium's going to do it. So we're going to help you out with that.
We got you, bro.
Okay, all right. I can't wait.
All right, Deuce. Well, we have certainly enjoyed having you here. Join us tonight. Get to know you a little bit, and don't worry, we got you. We're gonna get to a stadium chanting Deuce before you know it.
Man, I can't wait. Go Tigers.
All right, go Tigers. Appreciate you, man.